Hi, guys and ladies. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Being an Analyst podcast. This is episode number 42, and today we are discussing another exciting episode. If you stay tuned for the rest of this episode, we are going to be discussing an overview of why there is a lack of African based AI tools for data analysis, why there is a lack of African based AI tools for data analysis. My name is Disama Matieti, and I will be taking you through all of that. We're going to be exploring a wonderful book by a local South African author, and we're going to be looking at some of the factors that are influencing a lack of AI based. And my personal favorite, the quiz will be there just to check how we are doing. That's what we're going to be discussing. Just stay tuned. Just after our theme song, we'll continue. Thank you for always coming in and listening to this podcast. My name is Disama Matieti. I have for some time, I have been wanting to share all I know from my various experiences, from my various education background, so that we can all know what is to be done going forward. We know that not a lot of people in Africa know much about this technical things about data analysis or being an analyst in general. And this is why this podcast becomes very, very important for us to share information. If you know somebody else who might benefit from all of this, feel free to share this episode and many more episodes and resources with them so that we can bounce ideas. We are only as strong as our network. We should be the ones that are actually making this network stronger so that the network could also reinforce all the learnings and excitement on us so that we can grow together as Africans or as people that are interested in this analysis journey. Let's go straight ahead and look at an overview of the lack of African based AI tools for data analysis. Remember, in episode number 41, we've spoken about the 10 tools that we can be using for data analysis. And here we're saying, why is that list? Why didn't that list have African based development? Despite our significant strides that we have been made in AI and data analysis globally, there is a noticeable absence of prominent African based AI tools in the field, as we have seen in episode 41. If you haven't, please go one episode back and you will also be shook that there isn't anything else that's African based. This gap can be attributed to several factors that include limited resources, infrastructure challenges, and the need for more localized innovation to address unique African context. The good part about it is we're going to be exploring these three things, and we're going to be looking at how do we enhance all of this thing in our side. So let's start ahead and then just ask ourselves, why aren't there more African based AI solutions? There is four things that we're going to be looking at. The first one is resources and infrastructure constraints. The second one will be talent and education. The third one will be localized solution. And the last one will be the ethics and strategic consideration for AI when we're looking on this side. Let's jump straight to the first one. Let's look at the resource and infrastructure constraints. When we're looking at the investment gaps, we know that African startups and tech companies often face challenges in securing the necessary funding for AI research. And for that reason, because there's a lack of necessary funding for AI research and development, there will always be, challenges that has to come up with, a few things that are going up. On the next episode, episode 43, we're going to be chatting about some of the just 12 of those startups that were able to make stride on it, and we'll tell you how did they, break the cycle, how did they start making strides so that maybe we can be inspired too. Compared to regions like North America, Europe, the investment in AI innovation is significantly lower in Africa by itself. So you need to actually start pushing beyond our normal boundaries to get the money in there. Another thing when we're talking about here is the infrastructure side of things. Reliable internet, electricity, and technological infrastructure are still not universally available across the continent, which hampers the development and the deployment of AI solutions. So that is one of the biggest thing. Imagine just internet and electricity um, plays that huge part, not just technological infrastructure, just looking at the internet and electricity, that we don't have uninterrupted electricity as the whole continent as yet. Our electricity is still touch and go. Until it is fully solved, we can say our infrastructure is in the right space. Another thing that we have to look at, the second one, is the talent and education. So, looking at the skills shortage, there is a shortage of highly skilled AI professionals in Africa. If you are, you could either be highly in demand and being, wanted by everybody, or you could be, not employable because nobody would understand what are you talking about. So there's that huge polarity that we can say, oh, we know that you have your PhD in AI, but you should have maybe done medicine because we need doctors. Or they could be, um, we want to thank God for you because you did your PhD in AI, then you can solve this. And everybody will be wanting a piece of you. There's that. So there's a shortage of highly skilled AI professionals in Africa. While there is many talented individuals, the continent needs more widespread and accessible educational programs to nurture AI expertise. Another thing that we're looking at when we're talking about talent and education is brain drain. Many skilled professionals disappear and they move abroad for better opportunities, leading to a talent drain that impacts local innovation. So instead of our people that are skilled in AI, instead of them coming up with more innovative things, they are bombarded with work as usual, because we're coming to them. They're like, please help us because this whoever person just left for Australia or just left for the UK. Can you help to do seven people job? And they just become trained and they're like, I can't take it no more. And before you know it, everybody's following suit and we're going overseas. The third one that we're looking at is localized solutions. So we're looking at unique challenges on this side when we're coming to our Africa's social, economic, and environmental challenges that most often require a tailored AI solution. While there is wonderful generic AI tools from other regions, I'm afraid that they may not be suitable or effective for our African context. So in that case, we need to build an AI solution that actually understand where we are. For instance, if you have a language model that you're just making it read books in North America, in whatever in the North, it works quite well on that sense. When you bring it down in Africa, where our form of passing knowledge was in a form of folk stories, and you see now you won't have any books to be reading from. Now you have to transcribe endless hours of just random talks with people within the community and implanting microphones everywhere. It's a total different investment that is required depending on the culture and how the culture passes information and how the culture interprets information in that case. So it really needs a different way of looking at it. The generic AI solution from other regions may not be suitable or effective in our African context. Not all the time, but most of the time they might not be. Cultural relevance is also another thing where AI tools may need to incorporate local languages. I saw there's a few people that are actually trying to push for local African languages. They have to know their cultural nuances and specific needs which require local knowledge and innovation. So it has to be localized so that we can understand the context. Fourth one that we're looking at is ethical and strategic considerations, where ethics and inclusivity, developing AI solutions that are ethical and inclusive is not just a nice to have, but it is very, very crucial. We should be thinking about ethics and how do we include the other people, not just to be, excluding everybody in our AI solution. There's a need for a framework that consider African values as societal impacts. And that framework, I don't know who's the best person to be able to develop that framework as well as yet, but we know that there needs to be a way to make sure that everybody is included. Another way is strategic implementation, where the successful implementation of AI in Africa will or might require a strategic approach that aligns with the continent's developmental goals. I mean, we have the African developmental goals. We have each country has got its own national developmental goals. If AI is not incorporated in there, or if technological movement is not incorporated in there, we will have problems, especially securing some money. Even when international donors come in, they might be frustrated to say, but we are bringing our own money. Why aren't you just taking it and implementing our AI solutions in your everyday problems? So it might be, a catch 22 situation that go there. Let's look at Dr. Mark Nasila's book, and let's look at his insights on African AI innovation. He has recently written a wonderful book. It has very, very raving reviews. Dr. Mark Nasila, in his book African Artificial Intelligence, underscores the importance of developing an AI solution that caters to African unique challenges, drawing from his experience both in academia and in corporate South Africa, especially banking. He highlights several key points that we're going to be looking at. What he highlights are four things. First is the need for tailored solution. Second one is showcasing African AI innovation. The third one is ethical implementation. The last one is a call for a collective effort. His stance on the need for tailored solution, he says African AI solutions must address specific regional issues such as healthcare, agriculture, and financial inclusion. Generic global solutions might not be as effective as this. If you're thinking about countries like what's happening in West Africa, Somalia, Ethiopia, It's not the same as what's happening in East Africa. Well, in East Africa, Somalia, and Ethiopia, it's not the same as what's happening in West Africa, where you see Morocco and Nigeria and them sitting over there. And whatever these two, economical regions are experiencing, not the same as what's happening in SADC, which is a Southern African, part of the continent, where we are experiencing and we are thriving for different things. So in that case, we need to be able to look at it regionally to say, what does healthcare look like? What does agriculture look like? What does financial inclusion look like in our region? That's why he says generic global solution might not be as effective in these areas. This is where the frustration will come in, because you might have an international donor who's thinking, you know what, I think we're just gonna scoop in and help these people in this particular region to 10x their performance. You get here, you realize that things are quite different. You don't understand the context, and you pull out. But maybe if you spend some time to develop African, focused solution, you might not, had been that frustrated. Second one is showcasing African AI solution. This is where Dr. Nasila's book present various use cases of AI across multiple industries in Africa, in where he's demonstrating the continent's potential to harness AI and transformative change. This is also coming from his experience in the university, where he spent some time as a lecturer there. I mean, he should have been exposed to a lot of case studies. That's why he's able to even draw from those case studies and bring them into the thick book. Let's look at the third one, which is the ethical consideration. This is where we are all, reminded that of the importance of ethics in AI, and cannot and on why it cannot be just overstated. In the book, Dr. Nasila also advocates for AI solutions that are ethically sound and beneficial to all societal segments, not just to a certain portion, but everybody should be able to be benefiting from this AI solution. The last part, he's calling for a collective effort, so that when we are building here, we're just not building for one person or for two people, but it becomes a collective effort, where he's also looking at the policymakers, business leaders, and other stakeholders to say they must work together to build an AI driven future for Africa. This involves creating conducive environments and innovation, and providing the necessary support for AI development. If you read this book, you will realize that it's almost the same as the recommendation of the Presidential Commission on 4IR. So if we have highlighted, ethics, we have seen education, we have seen, all of these things of the industrialization, and how do you implement AI in every workforce to make sure that it works for people and not work against them, especially that we have the highest youth unemployment rate in the world. As South Africa, we are sitting at 60% of our youth. 6 out of 10 youth are unemployed in South Africa. So implementing AI might have others think, why don't you just stick to the third industrial revolution instead of the fourth? With that in mind, we're jumping into another segment where we say, should Africa skip the AI wave and focus on industrialization? Meaning, should we say, hang on a second, for IR, we get you, we hear all the benefits that you are doing in Silicon Valley. We're hearing all the nice things that you're doing in China and Tokyo and Japan. We know that you are the best, but we have high unemployment rate. Our electricity is a touch and go. Our internet connection is a shamble. Just wait a little bit. We're gonna focus on industrialization. Also a debate on whether Africa should focus on the third industrial revolution or rather continue focusing on the third industrial revolution where they do the industrialization rather than the fourth, which is the AI and digital innovation. The third industrial revolution, just for historical context, we're looking at um, the jobs that were created and the wealth that has been created, particularly in sectors like mining and manufacturing during when South Africa and Africa was still prime, which is during the colonial area and during apartheid. In our case, I mean, I grew up in a mining town in Velcom. I know what industrialization does. I know, the need for manufacturing. Well, we were doing mining, but if you go into other towns like Sasolburg, you go into other ports around port towns around the country, you would know what industrialization does, and you can see it. But when it comes to AI, it's a touch and go. You don't necessarily sometimes see it as palpable as the smoke that you would see coming out of a factory to show that the workers are really working there. Immediate job creation. Well, let's say focusing on the industrialization could provide immediate employment opportunities, which is critical for our youth. 60%, 6 out of 10 youth is unemployed. And as much as we're talking about, analysis stuff, it is unlikely that all of our youth, all the six that are unemployed, are gonna turn into analysts and hit it big. That's very, very highly unlikely because now we're gonna be over flooded with this particular skill and not be able to be absorbed by the market. Or other people maybe from Asia are asking themselves, why do you need jobs? Why can't you start your own business? We also in living in a different world where you cannot even use where you stay as collateral. You cannot even operate according to the rules if you are living in a shared environment or a shared estate. If you don't have a standalone house, it becomes difficult to actually even register your own business. So that's why everything else needs to be localized so that we can know exactly what's happening on this side. Let's look at the fourth industrial revolution, which is the AI and digital technologies. The nice part about it is future proofing to make sure that when we embrace AI and digital technologies, we can future proof Africa's economy, meaning that we're moving it away from mining and industrialization. We're moving into future focus and making it competitive in the global market, making it very, very competitive in the global market. Can we get there as soon as possible? Probably we could get there. There's a few things that we need to do. Innovation and efficiency. AI can drive innovation and efficiency across sectors, leading to long term sustainable growth. So, these are nice things that we can be looking at to say if AI gets implemented properly, these are wonderful things that could come on our way. Just recapping what we've spoken about, the lack of African based AI tools for data analysis is a complex issue stemming from resources constraint, talent shortages, and the need for localized solution. However, the book that we just spoken about suggests that there is immediate potential for AI to bring progress and opportunity to Africa with developed and implemented strategically and ethically. While there is value in continuing to focus on industrialization, integrating AI and digital technologies could position Africa as a leader in the fourth industrial revolution. I know we're going to need a lot of money for that to happen, but it could happen. And ultimately, this could create a balanced approach that leverages both the immediate jobs creation and the future economic growth. I think this is what the politicians have been trying to do for so long, and it is not an easy task. While we got our heads spinning, let's go straight to the quiz. 5 questions, very, very easy to understand, very, very easy to answer. Let's start with question number one. What is one of the primary reasons for the lack of African-based tools for data and analysis? Is it because of A, abundant resources and infrastructure, B, investment gaps and infrastructure challenges, C, excess number of skilled AI professionals, or D, which is global dominance of African AI innovation? The right answer to which one of the primary is the primary reason for the lack of African-based AI solution for data analysis. The correct answer is B, which is investment gaps and infrastructure challenges. Question number two, which factor contributes significantly to the talent shortages in AI within Africa? Which factor contributes significantly to the talent shortage in AI within Africa? Is it going to be number A, which is overabundance of local AI education programs? Is it going to be number B, brain drain of skilled professionals to other countries? Or is it number C, lack of unique challenges requiring AI solutions? Or is it going to be number D, which says high number of AI professionals staying in Africa? The right answer to which factor contributes significantly to the talent shortages in AI in Africa? The correct answer is number B, which is that brain drain of skilled professionals to other countries. So there's a leakage in the bucket. Go straight to question number 3. Why is it important to develop AI tools that are culturally relevant to Africa? Possible answer is number A, to compete directly with global AI tools. Number B, to incorporate local languages and cultural nuances. Number C, to avoid ethical consideration. Or number D, to standardize AI solutions globally. The correct answer to why is it important to develop AI tools that are culturally relevant to Africa, the correct answer to that is number B. It says to incorporate local languages and cultural licenses. Question number 4. What does Dr. Mark Nasila emphasize about AI solutions in his book African Artificial Intelligence? Is it number A, the need for generic global solutions? Number B, importance of developing tailored solutions for Africa? Number C, the irrelevance of ethics in AI development? Or is it number D, the focus on industrialization over digital technologies? The correct answer to what does Dr. Nesilas emphasize about AI solutions in his book African Artificial Intelligence? Correct answer is number B, the importance of developing tailored solutions for Africa. For our last question number 5, we are saying for question number 5, what is a potential benefit of Africa focusing on the fourth industrial revolution, which is AI and digital technology? Number A, immediate job creation in traditional sectors. B, historical wealth creation through mining. C, future proofing the economy and driving innovation, avoiding technological advancements. The correct answer to what is the potential benefit of Africa focusing on the fourth industrial revolution? Correct answer is not number B. Correct answer is number C, which is future proofing the economy and driving innovation. Thanks a lot for listening to this podcast episode. If you would like to know more, I have penned a book called Being an Analyst. Yes, it's sitting on the side here, but it's always nice to hold the book while it's so that we can know what it looks like If you are just on audio, please, when you get a chance, when you stop, if you are driving, when you get a break, at work or at work or at home, please have a look at, just Google being an analyst and be able to get yourself a copy of the book. It is really packed. I recently did the radio interview, and the interviewer said, "This is like a teacher teaching school children." And I was like, "No, this is knowledge sharing. This is what knowledge sharing looks like when it's organized properly. Short bites, but it packs the punches. Almost when you take shots, if you're drinking alcohol, they are packing than when you drink the big alcohol like that. But yeah, thanks a lot for listening in. Let's chat in episode number 43. Stay blessed. Cheers.